In this video, I'm going to talk about dash cameras. And there is a lot of discussion I get from companies that I work with about dash cameras. And the biggest thing that I hear from safety folks and owners of motor carriers is if I put a driver facing camera in the truck, I'm going to lose all my drivers. That is not the case. I have never seen that in any operation that I've handled. Yes, there may be one or two drivers that go, I'm not doing that. You've got to really think about what you're trying to accomplish with your safety program. And I always tell everyone with dash cameras, a dash camera that is a forward-facing camera and a driver-facing camera is the cheapest safety director that you can put in the truck. So it's all about how you talk to your drivers about dash cameras. First of all, during the recruiting process, you have to make the driver aware during the recruiting process that you have cameras in the trucks. And generally the way I talk to drivers is the camera is in the truck to protect them. If you think about litigation, where a lot of trucking companies end up is in litigation. They have an accident and they are sued over the accident. Having the dash camera in the truck is the best tool in litigation. I don't care how bad the driver messed up. They could be holding their cell phone. They could be not wearing their seatbelt. They could be speeding. They could be doing a whole bunch of different bad things in that video. But I would rather know that on the date of the accident than 2 years later in a deposition, and they are taking a deposition of your driver, and they find out from the driver that says, well, it really didn't happen that way. This is what really happened. And your insurance company or you have had to pay all this defense cost in those 2 years when we would have known that from day one. Here's my experience with dash cameras in real life, though. The majority of the time, the camera saves the driver. I don't know if you know this, but four-wheelers are crazy on the highway. They just do not operate well around trucks. So the dash camera really can help tell the story about what was going on. So a typical accident would be the driver is driving the legal speed, they're wearing their seatbelt, their cell phone is in the holder, a car is at the front right tire of the truck, meaning in the blind spot of the driver, they can't see them, and they cut the truck off. The truck hits the car as they come into the lane for them. There is a lot of evidence in that dash camera footage that helps us with litigation to say, look, that other driver was really the problem. They were in our blind spot. Our driver couldn't see them. They came over in front of us. They're the ones that were the cause of the accident. It also helps with a lot of fraudulent claims. I handle a bunch of these every month with all of the clients that I deal with, where a company will report an accident and they find out that the person says, well, this truck hit me at such and such time. We pulled the dash camera footage and figure out we were nowhere near that location, or we didn't hit that vehicle or whatever. And then we go back to law enforcement and talk to them about the investigation and say, look, here's the footage. We didn't hit this person. There's no way we hit this person. And we're able to get out of a lot of potential litigation just from the dash cameras. So think about that when you're looking at these. It is a game changer on handling claims and litigation to have a forward-facing and a driver-facing camera, because you know what the real story is. It's also a game changer in changing driver behavior. Drivers that don't like to wear their seatbelts, you're never going to know that if you don't have a driver-facing camera. Drivers that hold their cell phone all the time, you're never going to catch that unless you have a driver-facing camera. Drivers that are drowsy or, spaced out, they're looking out the passenger window or they're not paying attention, you're never going to catch that unless you have a driver-facing camera. And I get into this discussion a lot with owners and safety folks that have a very high unsafe driving basic score with these problems, and they go, well, I can't put a camera in there, I'll lose all my drivers. You're never going to solve that problem. And if you think from your insurance company, they look at the unsafe driving basic score. If it's high, they're going to charge you more insurance because they look at the high unsafe driving basic score as an indicator that you're going to be more susceptible for having an accident. So if you don't have it in there and you're not solving the driver behavior that is going on with that camera, then you're never going to fix the unsafe driving. You're just not. It will not happen because you're not able to correct the driver behavior. So going to the old saying of the definition of crazy, and that is expecting a different outcome without changing anything. Makes sense, right? If you don't have the camera in there and you can't see what the driver behavior is and you can't fix the driver behavior, then you're never going to change it, ever. I don't care what methodology you use with. You can do all the training you can with a driver about wearing a seatbelt, keeping the cell phone in a holder, using a Bluetooth headset, doing all the things, but if you cannot see the driver behavior, you will never correct it. And you'll just be in this perpetual circle of talking to your insurance company going, well, we're doing more training with our drivers to get them to do the things they're supposed to do. It's not going to solve the problem. You've got to be able to see the driver behavior. And again, the secret to dash cameras with your operation is talking to your drivers during the recruiting process to say, look, I'm just letting you know that we have a driver-facing camera in the truck where it's there to protect you. Four-wheelers are crazy. We have to make sure that we're doing the right things on our side so that we can keep litigation costs down to a minimum. And this is true for the driver because a lot of lawsuits out there that occur go directly to the driver. We see this time and time again in the headlines. You see that where the driver is being charged with vehicular homicide because there was no dash camera. They just say the driver was distracted or on their cell phone or whatever. And if you don't have the video footage to prove otherwise, you're never going to fix the problem. And then finally, you just can't put the camera in and not log into the dashboard and not handle it. You really, if you want a strong defense program for your litigation and your claims, you've got to look at the camera dashboard every day. You've got to talk to your drivers about the unsafe driving behavior. You've got to have that evidence to show that you are monitoring that and that you are fixing the driver behavior. You just can't put the camera in, tell your insurance agent, yes, we installed cameras, everything's great, give me my insurance discount for this. You have to monitor it. You have to coach your drivers. You have to do curative training. You have to do write-ups when necessary, and you have to terminate drivers that are not going to comply with safe driving behavior. Anyway, I hope these tips help. I really encourage you to have forward-facing and driver-facing cameras and put those in. It will make your operation so much safer, and you will be able to manage your safety program so much better.